Hey there, Angry Faithful. I just wanted to drop in, bend your ear a little bit, get your attention. So if you're not listening, drop what you're doing and pay attention to me because I'm here to inform you that not only can you get your daily, maybe if you're binging it, I'm not sure, that's entirely up to you, but you can multiply your doses of angry me fuckery by paying attention to all of the platforms upon which you can find either the dulcet tones of my voice and David's voice or my pretty face and David's not so pretty face. Anyways, digressing, we not only on we are on YouTube, we are on Spotify, we're on Rumble, we're on Google, Apple Podcast. We have a TikTok page. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and of course Facebook. So if you find yourself fuckery deprived, curl up with a nice hot mug of shut the fuck up and just listen. Open those ear holes and be prepared to be cream pied like it's the first time. Thanks for listening.
Welcome everybody to Comics Before the Show. What the hell episode? We got Jeff Gold.
Just call me Hefe. It's cool.
Hefe.
Yeah, that's what most people call me if they've known me for a brief moment or just.
So you go by the Spanish word for boss?
Yeah, funny story. I didn't choose that. People call me that because my name is Jeff, right? So
Yeah.
Spanish class back in high school. My boss I was like, hey, what's the Spanish name for Jeff? You know, because everyone's got their Spanish name. And he goes, for you, Jefe. I say, okay. My dumb ass thought Jefe was just the way of spelling Jeff in Spanish. So, yeah. So I just went for years doing that. But like working in like food industry and various tattoo industry, all those, I was always given that name. Like they'd be like Hefe, you know, kind of like people make nicknames for like Jeffrey, Jeff.
Yeah.
Some people call me Hefe, and
yeah.
Other Jeffs. I've run into other Jeffs who've actually been like, oh yeah, at work they call me Hefe. I'm like, all right, cool.
Everybody's been going by my last name because it's one of those original ones.
It's a good name. It's a good name, Dickerman, right?
Yeah.
That's always good.
What's really sad is like when I was in elementary and growing up and everything, everybody made fun of the name and everything. So it's kind of like the catch-22, and everybody's like nowadays is like, man, that's a good name, Dickerman. Even if you're like pissed off and you need me really, Dickerman.
I think of Fairly Odd Parents, Doug Diggadome, when they're like, that's Doug Diggadome, right? Like,
yeah.
So Dickerman, like when I hear it, I always think of like you were probably some military guy, right? And they were probably screaming that at you at one point, right?
Yeah, I was in the Air Force.
So, yeah, I was in the Air Force too. But
what'd you do?
Fuck, man. I was finance. I hated that shit.
Fuck, I was services.
Oh, so we're the fucking chair guys, man.
Dude, okay.
I get it, though.
No. The difference between yours and mine. Mine, I was cook, blah, 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 all kinds of stuff. But I also had to do the USO show.
Oh, nice. So you actually got to travel and do shit. And like,
no, I was in charge of it for the base that I was at.
Okay.
I was in Bahrain, and who did I? I think it was. I was talking to a friend of mine that was in the Army because he asked, was like, what does services actually do? It's like this. Well, when I was at Bahrain, I had to do a job and everything, and I was working with. I had Jay Leno, Cedric the Entertainer, Dwight Yoakam.
Comedians, yeah.
And
okay.
what's
I know
really
what you're
sad,
talking about now. Yeah, they always had comedians come out there overseas, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense.
What's really sad is there was one comedian, and it kicks me because he was an unknown, but he came out, and he was the best one of all of them. And I'm talking like Cedric the Entertainer, Jay Leno, headliners.
Some of the greats, yeah.
And this guy was like, and it's like what I try to tell everybody. Some jokes don't play because you're not in the right area.
It's atmosphere,
yeah.
And it's
and
also...
this guy played for the crowd.
Yeah.
Like his main joke was, hey, during your recruitment, did they tell you like, hey, this is what you're going to be doing? Rocks.
Yeah, yeah.
And
See,
it's something. It was so like stupid, but it was right on for the.
but we all
people-
get it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a different mindset. I tell people all the time, like, if you don't want to do 20 years to the military, give it a try if you can. It's an opportunity. You meet some great people. You get to experience life. And there's a lot of people who don't usually get that opportunity. I was fortunate enough. I grew up military, so I always joke with people that I am, I was in 22 years because, I lived with my parents, and my dad guarded nukes and shit. So,
I was the same way, but my dad was civil engineering.
oh, so you had the
Yeah,
guy
I was
who
up here.
yeah.
My dad. I didn't move around a lot. I stayed up here. At
Oh, lucky. I moved every 2 years. It was literally like
I never got that.
well, my dad was prior enlisted, and then he went gold to officer, and he was security forces. He still is. He's still in, bro. He's like he's almost on his way to general, and he's been in 35 years. He's 51.
Oh, wow.
It's yeah, that man. If you cut him, he bleeds Air Force symbols. I'm pretty sure, but I've never seen him. I've never seen him bleed. Been to air assault school, airborne. So growing up, you kind of think like military life is everyone experiences that, right?
Yeah.
But when you get older, you start to realize, like, damn, people really didn't like. I wish I had a childhood friend. I don't know what that is. My brother is by default, right? But
I have high school friends. Only because the difference between me and you, I grew up here,
yeah,
and I actually have like down pat high school friends that I still hang out with. One cat is in Alabama now. One of them's my brother-in-law now.
yeah. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Is that
was
the
a
one
weird-
that you were like, okay, you can fuck my sister because you're cool?
No.
But...
It's my stepsister.
Oh, okay.
My actual sister gets checks
Oh,
because she's that crazy.
damn.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
must have been quite a
We-
experience growing up.
It was. I have a lot, and it's like someone asked, it was like going through like the motions of. It's like, oh, this, and this. Man, you have a. Did you like learn psychology when you're in college or anything? Nah, I was like a industrial maintenance guy. I learned all the motors and stuff like that. But how do you have all this insight? I have fucking crazy family members.
Yeah, hey, that's a crash course. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure whoever wrote the psychology textbooks had crazy family members. They're like, this cannot be,
No, they only speculate.
No, yeah,
Because
exactly.
look at fucking what's his name? The dude that everybody talks about as a therapist, the main therapist, that German dude. God, I can't remember his name.
The one with the glasses.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. He's been
Starts
on
with
TED
that-
Talks a
Yeah,
few
yeah,
times. Stateman.
I want to say Socrates,
Stance-
but it's not Socrates.
That's that old Greek guy, man.
Yeah.
He does the toilet pose.
Yeah, I
right?
know.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
But no, I just
So you're not faced by shit then, pretty much. Like, you don't seem like, because a lot of people nowadays get really stressed out, anxiety. One thing I get is people are like, you were in the military. I'm like, damn, the tacos did it. You can't tell. And they're like, no, just your demeanor. Like,
Yeah.
you're very calm for someone who, I'm like, because I'm not faced by insignificant shit. Like, that's probably why I'm not good at relationships. Because if I have a girlfriend who complains about minute shit, I'm just
my go-to is because a lot of people are like, man, you're just so calm and everything like that. One, I grew up with like Married with Children, so I'm like cut out of Al Bundy. Nothing fucking phases me. And then when everybody else is like, oh, this is this and that is that, we're having a horrible day. I'm like, I don't see any blood, so suck it the fuck up.
Yeah, it's kind of like I think a lot of people don't really take in for a moment like the situation and how good they have it sometimes, and they're always chasing the next big thing, not realizing like take a moment, observe your atmosphere, enjoy what you got. Just because your latte came hot today and you wanted it iced doesn't mean it should ruin your whole fucking day like some people have. I see it all the time.
Well, what gets me is and I've noticed this. People talking about how horrible the relationships is. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
okay, I'll listen. I came up to it. I was like, I'll flat out say, I'll listen to you. But if you don't get an emotional reaction from me,
Or if you
Deal
don't
with it.
like my response, or
Yeah.
I'm a
And
like
I'll tell
an
them the tr-
uncertified street therapist when it comes to
Exactly.
that shit.
Exactly.
I have plenty of female friends that are strictly platonic that will, they like talking to me. First of all, if you're doing anything business, it's always great to have women involved because they're the ones who spend money and get people to come out. So part of the reason is a lot of these relationships are platonic is because
They like to spend other people's money. You need to put that out.
yes,
Yeah.
but I don't need the other guys knowing. And would you be mad if you were the girl in the situation, you gave your boyfriend money, and then he subscribed to some girl's OnlyFans? Like that's the type of mindset people are in nowadays. It's kind of
that
scary.
is that. You know what? That's a little bit better. I was like, huh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I've seen it. But going back to like the therapy section is like they'll be like, hey, so and so's doing this to me. Do they like me? And I'm an honest man. I'm like, no, he's probably got hoes, like side hoes. But why would you say that? And I'm like, well, because you wanted an honest opinion. And
Well, A equals
and I'm
to
a
B.
man, and I'm gonna be like, sometimes in my past, man, if you guys can't see it, the legend Tolu has made an appearance today. He's got the I know. He's self-proclaimed big black dick of comedy. I don't know. I don't know if you stood with other black comedians and measured dick size to come up with that.
I still think that he measured in centimeters and not actually inches.
You never. I mean, they use the metric system in Nigeria, right? That's where he's from. Yeah. So they might. I don't know. I didn't pay attention in school. I put it under my shaft when I measure.
Hey, since you're from Nigeria, I gotta ask.
Proclaimed big black dick.
No.
That's what she said.
Okay, I thought you
No.
stood with a group of other black comedians and y'all measured your dicks, and that's
No,
where-
I was going on this. Since you're from he was making it. He was like, since he's from Nigeria, does he use like the metric system? I was like, shit, he's fucking measuring in centimeters. He needs to flip that goddamn fucking ruler.
I'm American, man. We just measure it in dicks, I guess. I don't know what.
how many toes you can fit up someone's ass or something when kicking them.
Yeah.
That cow's as big as, I don't know, so many Tolu dicks.
There was a theory back in the day that the reason they got the metric system is they took like King Henry's foot, and that's how they would measure shit, and they just based it off of that. So they'd be like 10 of the king's feet, and it's like, hopefully this guy didn't have like Shaq feet. If you were measuring shit, because they'd be like, yeah, this isn't even a full ruler size. That's why they call it rulers, and then a foot, and then kings. I just made that shit up. I think it was something like that. But going back to therapy, though, with people in relationships, you see that a lot now lately. And I think it goes back to how easily you can get attention nowadays. Because think about your grandpa back in the day, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or I was in the generation still. I'm not too old, but I'm not too young. I still had to call my girlfriend's home phone and talk to her fucking dad.
Yeah.
That terrifying shit. Like, I grew up in that generation where we still passed love notes. It's just I got the cusp of technology right when it was introduced. So nowadays, you can swipe right, find a girl within 5 miles. My grandpa had to walk 5 miles to find the only bitch that would talk to him
Exactly.
and stay with her. So there wasn't none of this give up shit. You had to make it work.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, I think those lessons from back in the day aren't
What
really
gets me
carried forward.
It was like Dan Cummings had this bit on his comedy, and he was talking about this kid that was in his, I guess, daughter's or son class or whatever, and the teacher would just let the kid do whatever. He would like doing like karate moves in the back of the way he was describing it.
Probably had ADHD or some shit.
Yeah. Well, no. She got her information from what he says, and this is a joke. I don't know if it's real or not. She got her information of how bad the reason why her kid is so bad was because her hairdresser told her that her kid probably has ADHD. So that's what she's going off of. A lot of people don't want to do the whole research themselves anymore.
They just want to put a title on it.
Yeah.
I think it's just laziness, procrastination, and the fact that most people have poor diets and the chemicals they're eating. And
Even my goddamn fucking sister, now she's like, well, I'm autistic.
how far are your eyes apart?
No, it's
I'm just
not
kidding.
even that. It's more or less the whole factor is like, well, you're schizophrenic, you're psychotic, you got a couple of you're bipolar, you got a whole bunch of shit that you get checks for and everything like that. Now you're just adding something in. Did the therapist tell you that? No, I just figured, I'm like, nah.
And most times, the therapist just wants to give you more prescriptions for Xanax. So, I've had
That
friends
is-
who've taken Xanax and woken up in stolen cars that they've stole that they don't remember.
Yeah, that happened.
I'm like, I lived in Florida when that shit popped off.
Are you talking about Xanax, or are you talking about the fucking one that talks with about because they use it for sleep
Ambien.
ambient, yeah.
No, I was talking Xanax, but Ambien's also not that good either.
Yeah,
No,
people end up like making whole fucking meals.
Oh yeah, like a turkey and shit. I think someone mentioned something about that one time. But,
Yeah.
yeah, those are crazy.
Rob was talking about it because he ended up. He's the guy that killed Osama bin Laden. Rob O'Neill.
I thought he died, man. Which parallel am I in?
You're in a
They
different fucking.
They killed the whole team, SEAL Team 6. Am I?
No.
What world am I in? Damn,
You're
I
in a
switched.
different world, yeah.
Yeah, bro. The one I
he
remember
took
is
it-
they all died, bro.
But he took an Ambient and he went to go get a toothbrush and came back and he got arrested because they thought he was drunk. He's like, no, I'm just on Ambient. And he got into the court and everything and he showed that's all he did. He's like, it's so fucking weird because it just someone's dying. Yeah,
You know,
that's
if
an ambulance.
You know, if the lights ever cut off while they're driving, the person died.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've seen a lot of those in Florida.
Really?
Yeah,
They do it every once.
but you
in a
gotta
while,
think
yeah.
about it. Florida's filled with old fucks.
Oh yeah, that's
Bunch
true.
of old people doing coke, having sex, getting heart attacks.
Yeah, but they're
trying to
living
hide
their
the-
best life.
Hey, I'm gonna do the same thing when I'm at that age. You think I'm gonna fucking stop? No.
I told people that. It's like, hey, when you get to like 80 and shit, it's no hold bar there. You just go ahead and fucking do everything.
I'm gonna do like what Mike P's cousin did and sell Viagra at the nursing home.
Oh, we actually finally got an audience.
Oh, it's Jason and Andrew.
Yeah. Oh, you're not in the way.
This is important, but it's not like it's gonna make or break it. You know,
Yeah.
make or break the internet. I could say some fucked up shit. Be like, no, I'm just kidding.
Dude, Drinking Bros had their 100th episode. They didn't have like video of it, but they had the sound of two people fucking while they're doing the episode.
Is Drinking Bro? Oh no, I'm thinking of. So you know the show Hot Ones? They got a British Australian version called Cold Ones, with a bunch of British and Australian dudes drinking cold beers. It's called.
Yeah.
They literally took the Hot Ones recipe and just did it with beers, like cold brews.
Well, they can do that. Someone, it was Kevin Smith actually. They were trying to do like the same thing because Kevin couldn't get onto Hot Ones because his heart problem and everything like that. So they did it a different way. The people that ran Hot Ones sued them. I'm like, really?
I
Really?
mean, when it comes to intellectual property, I think that's important. But parodies are different. There's a guy who opened a Starbucks next to Starbucks, but called it not Starbucks, and it was fine because it was a parody.
Yeah.
As long as you do a parody, if you take the idea and try to run with it, like if I saw another hot wing eating contest thing that wasn't sponsored at Buffalo Wild Wings, I'd be like, that's probably Hot Ones, because they kind of gave the original idea, but everything's being remade and remixed nowadays. I mean, how many times have you seen Jurassic Park and you're like, I'm pretty sure this is the same shit from the 90s, except more dinosaurs, more explosions, and now there's like a super soldier fucking T-Rex coming after me.
Dude,
Star Wars,
I really,
same thing.
Some of them I actually like, the B movies and everything like that, because they have like a B movie Avengers, but it's fairy tales.
No. Unfortunately, the only versions of those I've seen have been the porn parodies of the Avengers, and you're like,
Yeah,
shit.
all you have to do is put an XXX parody,
Not,
and you're
not
good.
even. Not even. You could be looking up Black Widow fighting the Hulk, and someone's drawn a version of it that you're like, you need to put the safe filter on that one. When it's artwork, it's different. You can get away with stuff. I think that's the loophole for kids nowadays.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, not nowadays. They probably just Google that shit.
I mean, there's so many like offshoots. Like I call them like great value movies
Yeah.
because they'll come right out at the same time the other movies, like Anastasia. They had like a cheaper version from another company and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that Disney's done, someone else has done, but they did a cheaper version of
It's
it.
like Bollywood.
Yeah.
Like- oh, man.
Dude, those things are fucking hilarious.
They don't realize it, but they're pretty much like Gold Age comedy. If they could just get it over here to where it would pop off, or they, you know what I mean? Like, hello, thank you, everything is good. I am a Avenger.
Have you seen the one where it's like, I guess the guy's like a robot or some shit like that, and he ended up like melding, making more of his selves.
Yeah,
And-
he could like hoist machine guns up and do all this crazy stuff.
That was fucking hilarious.
Low key, I'm excited for that because what that introduces is a lot of people don't know this. India over there, like if you run a Fiverr, like Fiverr, the company where you can kind of get graphic designers to build you stuff.
Yeah, I was telling Brent about that because he's like, "Hey, do you know anybody that can do graphics designs and everything like that?"
Fiverr, you're
Go
gonna
to
get
Fiverr.
it cheap because over there, 5 American, 20 American, 25 American over there to them is way better than working those fucking factories. And and that's I think an untapped market a lot of people don't know. I mean, yeah, you can outsource and you can see kind of like the levels of stuff, but you pay for what you pay for what you get nowadays.
Yeah, like,
hopefully.
I needed
if you
to-
want quality, you want to get quality people, but
I have not. I have like designs for like T-shirts and everything because I was gonna run a T-shirt business too alongside with this. Just in case. I got
it's funny.
popular
I
and
own a
everything.
T-shirt business and all the equipment. I run it, do everything. Print all
Yeah,
that.
I was gonna get with you later on, but there's the designs I want. They were stupid similar. I couldn't get a fucking artist to get them.
So I started this back in like 2015. On my 25th birthday, I'd saved up like 3 years to get my first machine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm an artist by trade. Like ever since I was fucking 5, I've been doing artwork. It's why I'm covered in tattoos. So I ran a tattoo shop. I was able to get my machines. A lot of the technology back in 2015 wasn't what it is now. So like they're not able to recreate exact artwork like they should. There's so many versions of it. There's screen printing. There's heat transfer. There's
But
DTG,
there's also there's I think you said it, the DTG.
DTG, yep.
Yeah, that
So-
one. I've actually the machine I wanted for that. It's basically a screen printer.
Yeah, it's like 25,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what stopped me.
Yeah,
the
I
really
got
good one.
I got the $12,000 one.
Okay,
Yeah, it costs more than my fucking cars.
but they're really good.
Yeah, so DTG though, a lot of people, and I try to educate people on this. I don't care if you go through me or not, or I will always outsource you to people that I know do good business because
Yeah.
that's always been something I don't need your money, but if you want to spend your money and go to people who could help you out, I'll point you in that direction. So screen printing is great for simple 1-letter, 3-color designs, and you want it to sit on the top of the shirt but not be too heavy. Those are great for like marathon shirts, bulk, like lots of bulk because it's so cheap to make. The issue with that is sometimes longevity-wise they don't hold up. They come undone if you don't take care of them.
Yeah, I mean
and
a
then
lot
the
of them. A lot of
colors.
them you have to flip the shirt inside out just to wash them.
Yeah, you should do that with most shirts though.
Yeah.
The shirts I make are a little different. They're more heat transfer, so they print on a vinyl that can withstand like 700 or 475 degrees. Like their durability, and they're very thin nowadays. Back in the day, they were really thick. You can print full color and everything. It still has that kind of sticker feel to it. Some people don't like it. Some people don't care. It just
Yeah.
depends on the type you are. But then DTG, I like DTG, but the thing with DTG is it will print in the shirt and it's very soft. It's not as vibrant, right?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. But you can abuse the fuck out of it and it will last. And then you're also restricted to the front and the back.
Well,
With-
I have one that I know is DTG.
direct to garment is the
Yeah,
best way to remember that.
it's my Boba Fett one, and it's already like breaking apart.
That was screen printed then. Oh well.
Because the design, you couldn't screen print this. The design is so detailed.
Okay. So it was
has to be-
DTG.
Yeah.
So vinyl will do that too. Actually, I'm wearing one right now, and it's a joke one. It's Trump saving babies from adrenochrome eating.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. So this will last a long time. And my main point of basically, I guess about me is, I like to see people as like puzzle pieces, right?
Yeah.
And there's a bigger picture to life. And sometimes I meet people and I know, like, hey, man, if they met this person, they'd really, it would piece together the ideas that they're trying to formulate. So my life is kind of like putting the puzzle pieces together and putting people where I think they would benefit the most from.
Yeah,
you know?
that's a lot of stuff I do. I like to connect people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like the Vet Fest I'm going to in November. I talked to the guy that's running it. I was like, hey, there's a couple of comics in here you might want to look at to put them in.
Is it veterans? You said vet
Fest.
Is that a veteran ran or something?
Yeah.
Or what? Okay. I recently got my like percentages and everything, and
I never did anything
all right,
too tough.
Listen, no.
And everybody's
No.
telling me to do this.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, motherfucker, right now. Listen, go downtown. Go talk to Tim Cook, the nice people up there.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm very fortunate in my rating. I really honestly thought I was getting 20%, but I got 70. And I didn't see no combat. I joined the military. I did my time. I got tackled a few times when I shouldn't have. Fucking overzealous supervisors in flag football. They suddenly want to relive their high school career, and I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, get that shit up, right? I got 70%. That's based off me having severe fucking migraines, sleep apnea, and a bunch of other minuscule bullshit that all ties together, right?
Yeah.
I didn't get my legs blown off. Those guys get taken care of for life like they should,
Yeah.
So never consider, there's a lot of psychological factors, right, that happen. Like when you go in the military, you don't just get physically hurt. There are some mental things that go on with a lot of people. Some people weren't used to having their freedoms taken away when they were little. So when they got in the military, being told what to do was hard, caused anxiety. You get your guys with PTSD, and some guys don't even realize they have it because they're like, I didn't go to a combat zone. I'm like, no, motherfucker, you're staying in your room for like 12 to 15 hours a day. You're not coming out and talking to people. As much as people want to be a recluse, they should at least everyone should have a small circle that they can go to and talk to. And I run into a lot. Actually, recently I was over at the Deep End, and I ran into this guy who just had that 1,000-yard stare, and it really off-put my buddies that were with me. But I started talking to him. I'm like, hey man, what are you doing here? We thought he was like drunk or inebriated. He was just being weird, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh no, man. He was trying to make friends, but he was just really fucking bad at it. And,
Yeah.
And I was like, he's like, what do y'all do? I was like, I always kind of like, if I sense like someone's kind of iffy, I say, hey, I'm ex-military, because it usually calms people down. Like, oh, okay, this guy's been there, done that.
Yeah.
This kid's like, oh, me too. I recently got out, and I could tell he was like conflicted. And I was like, recently, right? And he was, yeah. And I was like, how does it feel? You remember when you got out?
Yeah.
That feeling?
Well, what was really strange for me when I got out, I was a fucking asshole.
I mean, I was a
don't know why.
douchebag airman. I get it.
It was so. Someone had to take me aside. I was like, dude, you need to calm the fuck down. Which didn't help out because I also did correctional officers too. I was a correctional officer, and you can't be, nice going in that job. There's a reason why I get
alive. Yeah, I get
there's
it.
a reason why I got out of that job because I didn't like the person that I was turning into.
Also, in jobs like that, you can't separate the two when you go home eventually because it starts to bleed in. Gorbinson did that for a bit, and he was telling me the same thing. And I relate that to a lot of
my dad. He worked with my dad. Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah.
Wow, this town is small.
Yeah,
that's
it
good.
is.
I mean, that's good and bad because if you're a shithead, everyone's gonna know. If you're good, they're gonna know. I also like this town though, because if you want to be known, you can. If you don't, No
You
one
can-
will. Yeah,
yeah.
you can disappear. I mean, it's not hard.
I did that for a while, and then I started doing this podcast and getting out. And
It's
everything
good for
like
your
that,
mental. Yeah, I've seen you out the last few times. Actually, every time I've been out here, I see you doing your thing. So it's good to see that. It's good to see people kind of just doing what they want in life now and not kind of being refrained and restrained from the previous. You know, like your parents probably back in the day were like, I don't know. I grew up with strict parents. They're like, you gotta get a career. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. You
Yeah,
know,
they would. Well, my thing with my parents wasn't the whole career thing. Is like, hey, you got to figure out how to make a money.
yeah.
It started out. They ended up helping me out by just getting me a lawnmower. Like, this is your lawnmower. Take care of it and start
cut
mowing
them
lawn.
lawns.
Fuck
Yo,
yeah.
that honestly, that is like the building block to business, I think.
Exactly.
Because you can take that from a kid and bring that client list to adulthood to where now you're paying for trucks to get done and go do whole neighborhoods.
Yeah.
I do like that about Wichita Falls.
Hell, there was a guy from what one of my buddies said. He worked up at MSU as a gardener. Mm-hmm. He was dumber than shit.
You don't have to be smart to do certain jobs.
But he ended up. He's now like he has like $3 million of a business.
I learned that when I went to Florida to renovate homes. I worked for a 22-year-old kid. Good kid, but dumb as fuck, right? But here's
Yeah.
the thing I realized. The reason that kid had money was because he wasn't overthinking shit. And that's
Yeah.
the issue. I'd rather be dumb sometimes because I wouldn't overthink my blessings.
That's another thing with businesses and everything is a lot of people go out and it's like they want that fast cash.
It's not going to happen.
It's
like
not
that.
going to fucking happen. And
3 to 5 years.
I was like,
is-
people were talking about the podcast and everything like that. They're like, oh, you got to have like all this. I was like, listen, I've been doing this for 2 years. I just now broke. I'm almost to 75 subscribers, and I've talked to YouTubers that are like 3 million.
Yeah.
They're really good acquaintances of mine, and they're saying the same thing. It's like just keep at it, just keep at it, just
You
keep at it.
also have to have consistency, which is basically what everyone states. I mean, I run my brother's YouTube page, and my brother's a perfect example. I bring this guy up a lot. He has that weird job. He builds helmets for DJs, like big time DJs that pay $150K because it's their brand.
Yeah.
And what people don't realize is you got to invest money in yourself. You go out, you get a Gatorade, you get coffee, you drink it. Why wouldn't you put 5 towards your ad space on YouTube or Facebook?
Yeah.
You can't just have your friends sharing shit all day because unfortunately, it's only going to stay in that bubble. So a lot of times,
the only reason why I don't do that is because of the owner of Grunt Style.
Mm-hmm.
He literally said, he was like, I put up $200 just to see if I get a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's the algorithm or anything like that, but he ended up, it didn't pan out for him.
yeah, because he probably did it wrong. You know why? Because you can put it. I hate that excuse. It's because he didn't know how to build his ad, bro. You got to target a small market, right? There's different ways to do it. I can show you on this phone.
Okay.
I have a video that has 6,000 views. I put $10 to it, but I chose my niche. People want to try to reach everyone. That's like if you collected action figures, right?
Okay.
And you were putting an ad out. Why would you put an ad out to everyone when you could just put it to the action figure guys?
Oh, okay.
Because you might see 1 million people will see this. 1 million people don't give a fuck about your action figures.
You're
But
talking
if it
about
says,
targeting your audience.
know your audience.
Yeah.
Know your niche. Know your audience. Don't try to bring in new members. You know who brings in new members? Your old members who share their passion for.
Okay.
You know, and,
Okay, I got you, I
and
got
that's
you.
where people. I'm not saying anything bad about these people that don't know how to market. I think a lot of people think it's real easy, and it is only if you research. You got to do the research. You
Yeah.
got to, and everyone's different. And the way I figured this really kind of stuck with me because I was having some existential crisis with stuff. You know,
Yeah.
Someone said sometimes. It's why I stopped telling people my ideas sometimes because they'll shoot them down. Sometimes you get told something because it's your vision, right?
Yeah.
Whether you believe in God, the universe, Allah, Buddha, whoever the fuck you believe in, right? You're the one getting the message, right? So it's probably going to work for you. That other person wasn't getting the same message. So a lot of times it's like moving silence is really a big thing now. A lot of people like to talk and then they don't do the actions and then they get mad when they see people moving. And that's one thing I realized is like, just be consistent, keep moving, always be willing to learn. If you think you know everything, you fucking know nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
Those who say they know nothing know everything. That's
Yeah.
why when people ask me shit, I say I know fucking nothing.
But
I know
we're about to
enough.
find out.
Yeah, I mean, but it means you're always willing to learn. It's like you should listen to your elders, right? But you should also listen to your kids because they're more present. You know, your family, your parents are still thinking about shit from 19 whatever. Your kids are living in how the world is actually nowadays. They're present for it. So and that's something I had to, I learned watching my brother with my nieces and nephews, right, with his kids, is he's like, yeah, I might hate this shit that they're doing, but how can I make sure my kids move through it without being corrupted, damaged, and being above the rest to make that money and transition into life and not be peer pressured or influenced by people. You remember when you were growing up, peer pressure was a bitch, wasn't it?
Fuck yeah.
Now as you're older, you're like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should
Well,
do
hell-
this shot, dude. You should do this shot. And you're
Hell, I
like,
just found out that you can Google my production company now.
yeah, exactly.
I
And-
was
and
like,
that's-
it was like a couple of months back. Someone was asking me, was like, "Where do I find your stuff at?" And I was like, "Well," and I was like Googling
that
something.
means
I was
you're,
like,
you're in the analytics. It's good.
"Yeah," and I just didn't know that.
Funny story. The best guy to ever do marketing, in my opinion, right, is Pitbull. Do you know why? The singer
Yeah.
Pitbull.
Yeah.
You know why?
No.
When you Google Pitbull, he comes up before the dogs.
Oh shit! Really?
That. Pay attention to that. You know, like, and that's
Yeah.
another thing. I go back and I look at people. A lot of people think people join the Illuminati. That's how they got famous. No, they might have, but they took the steps to get noticed and they kept going with it. It's like I tell these guys sometimes I meet that are like, I need a viral video. I'm like, cool. What happens when you get a viral video but you don't got any social media put up? Your flame is done, bro.
Yeah.
You literally went viral and you had nothing else prepared. I'd rather
Yeah, I
build
had the-
content and then have a viral moment so I can build off that momentum.
I had the same thing happen to me because I had the I have T-shirts I could sell, but
We're gonna have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's something that is.
I only have like 2 left. I usually just give them away. But actually, have you seen me with the one that says "fuck socialism"? It
Yes,
has,
yeah.
that's the T-shirt that I wanted to sell.
Yeah. No, those
I-
are good.
No, what's really sad is about that T-shirt though was I'd go around here try to sell them, no one would want to buy them.
'Cause
But
they
I go to
think you're-
Dallas and Fort Worth.
Yeah, they're liberal minded out there. This is a very conservative town. I am. I don't give a fuck. I'm an anarchist. I like not burn down the establishment, but I think men should rule themselves. And also, if someone steps on my turf, I should be able to shoot them in the face. But that's just me, right?
Yeah.
I'm tired, and this is something I'm probably gonna wrap this up with you.
Yeah, we need to get.
Would
in
you
there.
ever drive with your grandparents at the age they are now, right? Like your older grandparents, like in their 80s and 90s, and you know that, like, you want to get in the car with them nowadays because they're terrible drivers, right?
Yeah.
So why would you let people that age run this country? And then no one can
Exactly.
give me a fucking answer about it. And I'm like, think about that.
Well, how
it's
did
not
you-
me being a dickhead saying, I just
No,
think
you're
we
absolutely
have,
right.
we have outdated times. We shouldn't have careers congressmen. That means you're going to be stagnant for 50 years. That's why we still have bad policies. It's why America in itself is fighting each other, not realizing like the problem isn't whether you're Democratic or Republican. It's whether you can realize that these old fucks are lying to you and that no one knows what they're fucking doing. Like, we can all agree that we should not have old fuckers like this. Like Joe Biden, for example. I don't give a fuck what people think about him. Joe Biden was a career politician and ain't nothing changed since then.
Yeah.
And he's Democratic, which I'm going to say this bit, and some people can get mad at this. The Democratic Party is actually the most racist party. If you go back and look at their policies,
no, you're absolutely
they're the
right.
ones that did the stop and frisk laws. They're the ones that did the minority. Like, and it's funny because most of their people are minorities, not realizing that they're voting for.
A lot of them are. I just watched a video before you came on
Mm-hmm.
about how Latinos are going with the Republican Party now.
Yeah.
And Democrats are pissed off that they're not going with the brainwashing.
Good, because it's like this, man. I'm done telling. Like, first of all, I haven't watched the news in fucking years, man. First,
I
don't
get clips. That's about it nowadays.
I get my
And
highlights
that's really
of the.
and that's really sad for me.
Exactly. I
And
mean,
some of it's from fucking Australia about our own goddamn country.
I would trust those more than ones
Yeah.
from our own soil. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, man, it's a propaganda thing. It's just. Eventually, we're going to be those old people, though. So that's what worries me is no one realizes, like, eventually we're going to be in those seats, and we're going to have to teach these fucking kids. And hopefully we didn't do a shit job. Otherwise, we might be put in nursing homes.
I had a
you know?
conversation with the guy that was helping me out with the podcast for a little bit, and he was like, "Oh, the politicians sucks. Donald Trump shouldn't even try to." I was like, "What did he do bad?" There was one thing. He was like, "Well, he's Donald Trump."
Can I
That's
be
the reason
honest
why."
with you? And as long as I've been alive, I've never seen the media come after someone so fucking hard that
hard.
to people who have lived life, not these kids that voted for him, people who
Yeah.
have lived life understand, like, you remember that friend who would talk shit about that one person so much, and you could you're like, okay, this guy's a shitbag, but then when you meet him, you're like, what
He's
the
pretty
fuck
cool.
was my friend talking about? It's because
Yeah.
your friend had a fucking issue with him.
Yeah.
So the media, in this instance, had an issue. Now, policies, whatever you want to talk about, at the end of the day, all I remember is it was pretty good when he was in office. The fucking gas was low. The economy was booming because he was a businessman.
Yeah.
And everyone's fucking racist. Papa John's is racist, and people still fucking buy his damn pizza. That man had
Well, they
to,
kicked him out.
yeah,
but
he had to go to rehab for saying the N-word, which I
Yeah.
thought was crazy. Like, there's a
How is-
rehab for that?
Is there? That's fucking phenomenal if there is. It's like, I said some really fucking racist shit, so I'm going to rehab.
Yeah.
Did you have a coke habit or,
It's a
something?
self-reflection rehab.
Apparently, that's
Yeah.
fucking phenomenal if they do have that, but it's just I don't get that bullshit. It wasn't until 2016 where a lot of what I call mob mentality,
Oh, yeah.
where they have a mob mentality to the point to where once one person goes onto that bandwagon, because you didn't hear that much about political bullshit that we do now.
Oh, kids in cages.
Yeah.
Saying, fuck, man. There's
There's
a lot of things.
I had a friend that just recently, and we'll cut it after this.
yeah.
Is I had a friend and was like, no GOP's talking about how the borders are secure and everything like that. Now I'm like,
Where's Kamala Harris been this whole time? That's my question, bro.
she hasn't gone to the
She's not
fucking border.
even. She's
either.
not even black. She's Indian. You know that? She's about as Indian as Elizabeth Warren is, or she's about as black as Elizabeth Warren claims she's Native American.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is coming from someone who's Choctaw royalty, so I can say this shit, okay? I might look white, but my nipples are tan. That's how you know.
Yeah. Well, everybody, check us out on YouTube, Rumble, all the social media and everything like that. And we'll get with you. We got to get back onto the show.
Thank you, David. It's always a pleasure.
No problem. Thank you for coming on, man.
All right, you guys have a good night.